Hello and welcome back to the Motorsport Baithak podcast. I'm your host Didi, and joining me today once again is my friend and your co-host Vedant. On this episode, we'll be talking about the Formula 2 weekend in at Monza. So let's grab some chai, take our seats, ready your opinions, and dive right into the conversation. And Vedant, I am happy to inform you that Bruno Michel's comment has finally been proven wrong. Like I said
Yep,
2 months ago,
yep, yep.
there was never a championship fight that was going to happen, and there isn't one that is required. Felipe Dragovic has wrapped up this year's Formula 2 championship with one round to go. Yeah, well deserved. Except for a couple DNFs and like a bad weekend in Monaco, I think you can't really complain about the season or anything wrong that might have happened. He just had it from the very beginning, and now he's been announced as Aston Martin's reserve driver, which is great for him. Uh, I'm hoping, Lawrence Stroll wakes up and goes, okay, we can't have Lance Stroll, so we need someone else, and that Felipe Drugovich gets the seat. I'm hoping that happens, but it's really unlikely.
Yeah, but firstly, on that note, having him tied up with a Formula One team is great, right? Because obviously, you can't have a Formula Two championship winner be without a Formula One connection for the next season, right? So it's great that Aston Martin have backed him up. But yes, what a season it has been for Felipe Drugovich. He has dominated it. He, I think he got the most poles of anybody. I think he got the most wins of anybody, and deservedly so. He won the championship by a large margin, comfortably. And Felipe Drogovic is obviously happy, but I know you are very happy as well that Bruno Michel has been proven wrong, right?
I mean, his claim was a little bit outrageous. If he would have said the same thing for Formula 3, I would have been like, yeah, this is exciting. Went to the
Yeah.
last race, which we're going to talk about. Come on. I mean, there are commentators, and then, there are people who own and run the show. You have to be somewhat realistic. I understand the optimism,
Yeah.
but come on. You can't just be lying when I can see the numbers in front of me.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, brilliant season from Drogovic and brilliant way to wrap it up as well.
Yeah, great win for MP Motorsport too. I'm not sure last time when they won. It's hard to recall because when you look back recently, it's just Prema and ART, I
Yeah.
believe, for the most parts. But enough about Felipe Dragovic. Yes, he won the championship, but let's talk about the person who won the feature race at Monza, Jehan Daruvla. Finally, a little bit of luck on his side, a little bit of luck, and then he took it from there. Made most of the safety car yellow flag. The virtual safety car, I believe, whatever that was, and then took the lead from there. Great pit stop from the team, and then even with damage to his bodywork, he made sure he brought it home in one piece. And it was. I didn't see the race. I saw the highlights, but definitely chills to see him on the podium with the Indian flag behind him and the Indian national anthem playing at the same time. Uh, it's happened before during
Sprint
sprint
races. Yeah.
races, but never in the feature race. It's his first feature race win, I believe, not just this season, but during his stint in F2. And I hope this is the new beginning that him and Prema needed to get back on track. And hopefully he can still finish third. I mean, mathematically he can still finish second in the championship, but at least third, because right now Logan Sargent is at 135, Jack Doohan at 126, and Jehan Darubla at 126, along with Enzo Fittipaldi, who you have been a big fan of this season, is also tied at 126 points, with Liam Lawson at a close 123. But and I think he also, this is the first time he's had two podiums on the same weekend.
No, I think he has had two podiums before as well, but
That might be true. That might be,
yeah,
yeah, but definitely not a win before.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah.
A great.
After
Yeah, sorry, continue. I'll.
I was just gonna say, after such an unlucky season, it's finally to have some luck back on his side. Like I said, in Hindi we say, usko nazar lag gayi
Yeah.
thi, and Uh, and after I said that, there is no more of the of whatever was going on. Nazar utar gayi hai. So now we're all good. We're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jehan obviously loves Monza. He won the sprint race at Monza last year, and I think, I mean, it's the home track for Prema, so that was a big bonus. And obviously, with the team, an Italian team, the the mentality in the garage and the vibe in the garage would have been different, right? So that was a big plus. But I think the most important part of this weekend for Jehan Darwala was qualifying well. He qualified sixth, and that gave him both the results and gave him the chance to act on that luck that was given to him, the opportunity that was handed to him, right? Before that, we have seen Jehan qualifies eighth or ninth, and he starts the sprint race at the front and gets a podium in the sprint race. But the feature is he always falls behind, or even if he recovers and even if his strategy is right, he can get at max, he can gain a few couple of places, right? So I think qualifying sixth gave him the best of both worlds in the sprint race and in the feature race. He was in the middle of that reverse grid pack per se, and got a podium on both the races. So that turns out, I mean, we have all season long, we have said that he needs to qualify better. And
I mean,
the one weekend he does qualify decently, he got the results.
yeah, and I mean, we were so disappointed in what happened. Again, I think 1 point last weekend or something like that, and then no points the weekend
Yep.
before that. We didn't even turn up to talk about it. We were
Yeah.
just there was nothing new to talk about it, and it didn't matter what else was going on in a Formula Two. We just didn't want to show up and
Yeah,
talk
exactly.
about Formula Two.
Exactly.
It was so disappointing, but I think going back to Filip Dragovic, yes, I mean, yes, Jehan, go Jehan. But coming back to Filip Dragovic, I think it's good that he was able to wrap up the championship now, because there is a month and a half long break between now and the season finale for Formula Two. Why? Just why? I mean, it is almost just a waste of money for all Formula 2 drivers and teams to take the cars to Yas Island for the final race of the season. So much for the green initiative. Bruno Michel should just cancel the race, call it off. Season's over, boy. But again, they have to go anyway because there's the F2 young driver test and whatnot. I know.
Yeah, I mean, the F2 young driver test is obviously there, but it is also about what we like to call as oil money, you know. Formula
Yeah.
2 is a very lucrative championship in terms of in the motorsport community, and the oil money of Abu Dhabi is there for it. So yeah, we will go to Yas Marina. We will hope that Jehan finishes third in the championship or even second in the championship. Mathematically, he can. But yeah, let's wait for whatever long it is, 1.5 months or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, 1.5 months. Um, yeah, I know. I'm not sure. But anything else you want to talk about F2 before we move on to F3? Because I would definitely want to talk about F3 and Kushmani a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else. Frederick Vesti had a double podium this weekend, two P2 finishes. So that obviously would have boosted his championship ranking. And
Yeah, he's eighth now.
Yeah,
He's eighth in the
and Enzo
championship.
Fittipaldi got a P3 in the feature race. So that puts him along with Jahan and Jack Doohan in that fight for P3 and P2 in the championship. But I think it was disappointing that Theo Poche could not score a lot of points. I think in the sprint race he DNF'd, or
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a difficult
yeah,
start.
and even in the feature race he,
Yeah, it was 0 points this
yeah,
weekend.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, disheartening about that as well. But yeah, nothing much to add.
yeah, nothing much to add. I mean, it's good to see Jack Doohan up there. Hopefully, he'll um, we'll talk about Alpine when we talk about F1 in a different podcast. But I mean, let's mention it here. I'm not sure. Like Alpine is on a 100 race plan, but they want an experienced driver so they can score points right away. But then they want to put a young driver in the seat in 2 years when they're closer to the 100-year plan and want to win the championship. It does not really make sense. If I was Alpine boss and if Jack Doohan's performance is good enough, put him in the Alpine seat, let him develop next to Esteban Ocon, and let's see what happens for a couple seasons. Instead of, because you can still gauge how well you're doing from a technical perspective because it is your car that is lacking it at this point of time more than the drivers.
Yeah.
And honestly, the less points you score, the more development time you get right now. So, heck, does it matter?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not sure what's going on with Alpine, but I mean, yeah, it's good to see him, Jack doing up there, and it makes him more likely to get a shot at that F1 seat. And similarly for Frederick Vesti, I mean, yes, Lewis Hamilton is not going anywhere right now, but sooner or later, it's probably in Frederick Vesti's best interest to win this championship as soon as possible, and hopefully, maybe replace someone at Aston Martin or Williams in the future and become that reserve Mercedes driver in the wings to come in place of Lewis Hamilton at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, while we are at Formula 2, the gap from now and Yas Marina is not 1.5 months, is it's more than 2 months. So that's even worse.
Isn't it like November?
It's late November and
Okay. Yeah, so
yeah.
almost 2 months. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just- Whatever. But anyway, talking about F3, obviously, I think Victor Martins took the championship this weekend. It was quite a close fought battle for the championship, which was great to see throughout the season in F3. Obviously, didn't see any of the races, just followed it through the highlights because it would be insane to wake up at 2 in the morning to watch any of the F3 races every other weekend. But as much as Victor Martins, Arthur Leclerc, Isaac Hadjar, Caio Collet, and all of these guys lit it up on fire. Um, Kushmani finished a comfortable 14th out of 40 drivers who took part in this F3 season, which is not bad. I mean, he only had, I think, 31 points to his name, but I think that is a decent season. It seemed that it sort of came together last minute, or at least was announced pretty last
Yep.
minute before the start of the F3 season. And I think that's a great start. And I am excited to see him back in the car next year. I think he's already announced 2023, not directly, but
Yeah.
indirectly. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see Kushmani, the Indian flag, and the Mumbai Falcons name on his car once again in 2023, and hopefully, we'll see him in the top three in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kushmani, we saw him in the Formula Regional Asia Championship with Jehan, right, last year, and it was a good season, like good championship for him for his development. But other than that, we have not really seen Kushmani in the world stage. He obviously raced in India in the whatever racing league it was, which
Yeah,
A1 Racing League or whatever it was, right?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it was great to see him in Formula 3, and I think he had a great couple of performances in qualifying and the race. Uh, I think, yeah, Budapest was his best race of the best round of the season, and he got a P4 at Imola in the feature race.
Yeah, in Budapest, it was a wet race too, where he got that podium, I
Yeah,
believe.
the sprint race podium. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, he ha- he he did not get the performances like the front runners, but he was consistent and he was improving all the way through, which is great to see. Which is the main important point of his career right now. So yeah,
And one more thing, guess which team he's driving for in F3?
yeah, MP Motorsport. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Let's see.
So,
Yeah,
mm, mm,
the
mm, mm,
motivation will trickle
mm.
down to the Formula 3
Yeah,
paddock, the Formula 3 side of the garage next season. And yeah, it is going to be an incredible season for Kushmani, hopefully next year.
yeah. Big gap in W Series too. I don't even remember hearing about W Series in like couple months, except the obviously now quite old news that Jamie Chadwick will be testing an IndyCar. I think by Andretti, is it?
Yeah, I don't remember
I
that.
don't, but yeah, Jamie Chadwick is due to have an IndyCar
And
test
she was
at
no,
some point.
yeah, Jamie Chadwick will test IndyCar, and there are four W Series drivers who will test, or maybe they have tested the Formula 3 cars. No, they will test Formula 3 cars and the post-season Formula 3 test. So I think for W Series and the other championship have finally started to carve some testing and make some deals out of it, and maybe we can see that grow. So long, so like so much for all that complaining we have done over the years about W Series, right? Finally,
Well, it's only been a year and a half with that.
yeah. Well, anyway, finally we will have W Series drivers testing elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Well, that's all about the support series. I guess we're talking about support series. Linus Lundqvist won in Indy Lights. If you have for some reason made it through this podcast for so long, but yeah, sure. But yeah, that's really all from my side, Vedant. The F season has come to an end. The F2 season is over for me, and so is the F1 season, like I've been saying every week. And we can call the FIA Formula campaign for this year
Wrapped up.
has
Yeah,
come to an end.
absolutely.
Yeah, has wrapped up. But yeah, if there's nothing more, Vedant, thank you for joining me once again. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.